Hey everybody, it is day 24 of Darren LaCroix's Facebook Live Challenge, up to day 24 of the 90-day challenge. And tonight I want to talk about something maybe a little bit different from what I've talked about before. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Now, years ago when I was opening IKEA stores and Michael LaCroix and I were working together, one of the things that he used to tell me on a regular basis was, don't get bullied by the experts. Don't get bullied by the experts. And what he meant was, it wasn't to discount people who knew more than you to give you advice and tactical advice and technical advice on where to go, but it was not everyone is following the same path that you are. And maybe you have different goals than what somebody else does. And if somebody else is steering you towards a specific goal, towards a specific destination, and it doesn't feel right to you, well, then maybe it's not the right goal. And don't get bullied into thinking that you need to follow their advice just because they are some sort of accredited expert. It doesn't mean that what they're doing is the right thing for you to do. And I have two examples for you, something that I think is very important. The first one comes from my Toastmasters life, and it's not going to come as a shock to a lot of you, but in Toastmasters, I'll let you on a secret, I'm probably never going to become a DTM. I'm probably never going to earn a Distinguished Toastmaster Award. And I'm perfectly fine with that. It's not that I don't have the drive or the ambition to do it. It's that it's not the award and the accreditation that I care about. And I don't care about it for two reasons. The first is I have seen over the years a lot of what I call checkmark DTMs. Those DTMs that did the manual but didn't actually learn anything along the way. And oftentimes the ones pushing the most to get that DTM award are the ones that the award was the only thing that mattered, but the journey itself wasn't important. And I think the journey is far more important than the end destination. I think the end destination for a lot of these things is just a check mark of where you're trying to go. It's just, I've reached this checkpoint and now what's on to the next. Instead, what's important to me is to become a great speaker. I really want to be able to command a stage, to be able to spread a message, to be able to help end the symptoms of bad bosses out there, to bring alignment to organizations and people, and to help people do more than what they ever thought was possible, to unlock a potential that they didn't even know they had in themselves. So what's important to me isn't to become a DTM, but to become an accredited speaker. And it's a different path. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to still be fully invested in Toastmasters, because I am, but it means that my path is different from other people's paths. And that's not wrong. Your path to where you're trying to go doesn't have to be the same path that everybody else is on. You can still be getting the same rewards internally and externally on a different path. It's how you apply those things that you're learning, that you're doing. It doesn't have to be the same way. Now, sometimes when you do that, you anger some people. And depending upon the situation, it's not such a bad thing. I mean, if you go through life and you never make anybody mad, then you've probably tried to please everybody, and the only person that you ended up not pleasing was yourself. So back when I was in, I want to say it was 8th grade, and you started to get the pressure, you had to get the good grades. Everyone wanted to make honors roll, everyone wanted to make straight A's, except for me. I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I went through a semester and instead of getting all A's, my focus was to get an A, a B, a C, a D, an E, and an incomplete. Now, when the report cards came out and I managed to get an A, a B, a C, a D, an E, and an incomplete, my parents, not so amused. Me, incredibly amused. And I have to say that the hardest one to get was the incomplete. Because you have to work really hard to not turn stuff in in order for a teacher to say, I'm going to give you some extra time and we're going to let you see if you can get something beyond this incomplete. I thought that it was a great goal, and it didn't matter at the time. I was in 8th grade. What did it care? My parents, well, they weren't quite so amused. But the point is this. I still got something out of that semester. I still did the work. It wasn't that I didn't learn anything. It was just that I tried to manage my outcome in a different way to get a different result from what society said I should try to get. Do I recommend doing that for kids? Probably not, which is probably one reason why we don't have kids. But it was a different result. You can go anywhere you're trying to go as long as you're applying the skills you have and the tools at your disposal. So don't get bullied by the experts. What you're trying to do might not be what everybody else is trying to do. And that's okay. As long as you're making the biggest impact you can on the world and you're happy with what you're doing in life, that's all that really matters. So don't get bullied. Probably don't try to do the A, B, C, D, E, I thing. Don't encourage that in your kids, but have some fun out there. Have some fun. Find those goals that are important to you and focus on them. Who knows? Maybe one day I will be an accredited speaker. Maybe I'll be a DTM. I wouldn't hold my breath on the second one. Have a great night, everyone. I'll talk to you tomorrow.